I appreciated the opportunity to serve, and you've known me a long time. And when I showed up at your office, I was just there to ask for money for the Navy. I had no idea that this was going to result in everything else. My job was to compel you, no offense, to compel you, to convince you that we wanted to bring back a form of able danger with Curt Weldon to support Navy, the Navy program, Navy interest of creating situational awareness to stop things like the Cole happening. So that's, people don't necessarily remember that, Curt, but I think it's important to remember. You were the vice chair of the Armed Service Committee in 2004 when I came to see you. 2005, I was sent over by the U.S. Navy. My purpose was to compel you, to convince you, hey, we need to have some money to do situational awareness using advanced technology, data mining, and some other related technologies so that we could stop another Cole, USS Cole event from happening. And that's where you asked me some hard questions, which I was prepared to answer. And one of your questions was, well, what happened to the original money that we spent on able danger? You know, you didn't call it able danger, you called it data mining. And I said, oh, well, I can tell you the story about that. So I laid it all out to you. It was about an hour conversation. I was very happy that you, as a service member of Congress, were listening to me. Just this lieutenant colonel knucklehead who came over to, you know, kind of ask for money. And next thing I know, you're asking questions, and I'll never forget. At some point, you said, Tony, why didn't you tell all of this information about the 9/11, about the hijackers being discovered, about the operations, about us trying to get technology in place to stop Al-Qaeda? Why didn't you tell this to the 9/11 Commission? I said, I did. I met with Philip Zelikow in Bagram in October of 2003. And you said, well, it's not in the report. None of that is in the 9/11 report. And I said, yeah, I know. I thought there was a classified annex. And you looked at me and said, Tony, there's no classified annex. And I'll never forget the chill that went up my spine when you said that. And I knew at that point, when you asked me that question and I gave you the answer and you told me there's no classified annex, I knew there was something really, really wrong. So let's pick up from that moment in time, Curt. When you discovered the existence of our little merry band of black operators, I suspect it was a shock to you that we existed, right? Was that kind of a good thing? Well, let me shocked a little bit.
Let me go back in time before that meeting. Let's go back to 1993. I was the representative of all the firefighters in the country, having formed the Fire Caucus and having been a fire chief myself. And I was at Ground Zero at the invitation of Fire Commissioner Howard Safer from New York, who spent the day there and going through the bombed out tower garage. And the fire department of New York assigned 2 officers to take me through with ATF and FBI. And the one officer was assigned to work with me and became a very close friend of mine. His name was Ray Downey. When I finished the day at the World Trade Center, I went back to the Capitol and I did a special order that night. This is in 1993, 8 years before 9/11. And the special order, which still can be pulled up by anyone, I talked about my visit to the World Trade Center and what I saw, what I witnessed, and what the New York Fire Department needed. One of the things they needed was better intelligence because they felt they were not given proper intelligence in advance of this attack. I went back to my office at 11 o'clock at night, and the phone rang, and on the other end of the line was Mario Cuomo. He was in his office in Albany, working late, and he had C-SPAN on. He watched my special order. And he said, Congressman Weldon, we've never met, but I want to thank you for visiting the World Trade Center today and for working with our fire department and offering to help them. I said, you have my full commitment, and I will do that. As a result of those meetings, I wrote the legislation in 1993 that created the Gilmore Commission, which Virginia Governor Jim Gilmore chaired. Ray Downey was on that commission. One of my fire chiefs from Pennsylvania was on that commission. That commission was designed to look at what we could do to prepare America against another attack.
If you like that clip, there's more. There's always more on ColonelTonyShaffer.com. Go sign up. Get all of our exclusive content and deep dives and conversations. We'll be doing a lot more. We'll be having great guests. You'll want to be there for all of it. So again, ColonelTonyShaffer.com. Sign up today. And you will be an exclusive member in an exclusive circle.